Yesterday on the 30th of June 2023, to be really precise at 8:26 p.m. Italian time, it finally happened. Once again, we Juventini had to wait until the end. We Juventini had to wait fino alla fine. But it happened because we were able in the evening to read on the official Twitter of Napoli that they said thank you for 8 years of collaboration to Cristiano and with Cristiano Giuntoli. What does that mean for us? Translating it in Juve words, well, he is ready to sign black on white with the Bianconeri, to start a mission that will be tough, that will be difficult, but a mission with one objective, bringing back Juventus Football Club to victory, to glory again. We'll speak a lot about Cristiano Giuntoli in that video. We'll speak, of course, about yesterday being the last day of 22-23 with the sad news, us saying goodbye to Juan Cuadrado. And we will start today speaking also about the new season, 23-24. If yesterday was a sad day because we had to say goodbye to a player, today will be the day that we will welcome our first official new player of 23-24, the one that will probably wear the number 22 on the back. Speaking about numbers, in that video you will also discover some new numbers from Juve players that decided to change for a new season. Ragazzi, put a maximum of like on the video. Yesterday we reached again the 500 minimum likes. If you do it again, also in the weekend, you are making me super happy. So 500 likes minimum, I'm counting on you. Subscribe to the channel if you didn't yet. We go. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I told you that we will speak about Cristiano Giuntoli, but not only, because there are some new names about the new vision of Mercato, possibly with Cristiano Giuntoli like Hojlund, but also the decision to take on Milinkovic-Savic. But first, let me take a moment to say goodbye officially to Juan Cuadrado, that you can see his beautiful shirt here behind me that I took at the time. And you know, when I put a name of a player on a shirt, it means that the player means for me, or I see some beautiful potential with some bets on new players, or it's a player that I'm deciding that really entered my heart. We can say whatever we want about Juan Cuadrado, about the fact that he was starting to be old, that he was not ready anymore to play 50 games a season, that he was in a decline of his career, that all of these things are probably true, but there's one thing that we can't say, that he didn't give everything he had for Juve. A player that entered history of Juve, like the number that he decided to put for the end of his career at Juve, the number 11 of his shirt, well, these are the numbers of the trophies that he won in Bianconero in 8 different seasons. A player that played more than 300 games, a player that was really showing that passion on the field, but also really incarnating that fino alla fine spirit. How many goals did he score from the 90-minute on? Juan Cuadrado will always be in my heart, a player that I was not in love with when he started his career in Bianconero, because a lot of time I was doubting his decision making in front of the goal, but more the years were going, more I saw the attachment of Cuadrado, and more he was also able to convince me on the field. I will always remember that fantastic season on personal level with Andrea Pirlo. I will also remember the season with Maurizio Sarri. 2 seasons that for me were his best. Probably not always he was able to give his best with Max Allegri, but Cuadrado will forever be a legend of Juve, and I will always speak with a lot of pleasure about Juan Cuadrado. A last hidden secret, well, telling you that Cuadrado, he wanted to stay, but probably it's the best decision for him and also for the club that we are separating roads. Anyway, today I told you, I already anticipate you, could be potentially the day of Timothy Weah, with beautiful pictures of him everywhere on social media. Again, put the notification ring on from the channel, but also from Juventus social media, because somewhere in the afternoon you can have a beautiful news. Anyway, now we have to speak really about Cristiano Giuntoli, because Tuttosport is opening their page with Giuntole. Not Giuntoli, but Giuntole, because it's a done deal. Yesterday in the evening, the rumor that happened that De Laurentiis would finally give the green line totally happened. He is ready to come to Juventus. He said yes. Who? Aurelio De Laurentiis, that understood that it made totally no sense to keep him one more year at Napoli, away from the offices, but just paying him to stay at home. An important person that De Laurentiis had difficulties to say goodbye to after saying goodbye officially to Spalletti, and probably to some of his players that will leave Napoli. He had some difficulties to say goodbye, and he was showing some resistance, but at the end they found a kind of political agreement, a mutual agreement with Giuntoli that will be able to fulfill his dreams. Just to tell you how much he wanted to join the Bianconeri, he said no to a lot of bonuses, to a lot of payments that were a bit late. He's rumored to say goodbye to 4 million euro from Napoli. If you know that his contract with Juventus will be from an annual salary of 2 million euro net, well, he will need to work 2 years to receive actually what he needed from Napoli. He said goodbye to 500,000 euro bonuses for having won the Scudetto. Can you imagine? He worked 8 years to bring Napoli to win the Scudetto. They won it. He deserved, because he's also an important key factor in that Scudetto won by Napoli, he deserved to have that bonus of 500k, and he said no. No thank you. I prefer to go to Juve. A Juve that will not even be in Champions League. Can you imagine how important Juventus is? Even in difficulty, how important Juventus is in the eyes of the external world, of professionals. A Rabiot that is saying, I remain. A Milik that really wants to stay. A Cuadrado that until the end tried to find an agreement with Juventus. It didn't work. A Weah that is joining Juventus over other clubs. Ragazzi, Juventus, you can say whatever you want, you can speak about the difficult moment, you can speak about Allegri, but Juventus is big, and a Cristiano Giuntoli going to Juve is important. And not only because Cristiano Giuntoli is a Juventino, if you want an evidence of it, well, it's written in Tuttosport today. The family of Cristiano Giuntoli, coming from Firenze, they have that linked with the Bianconeri since ever, a big Juventus family. For example, the father of Cristiano Giuntoli that passed away a few years ago, well, he asked to be buried with a Juve shirt, with a black and white shirt next to him. Imagine. Probably that's something that I would also ask the day I pass away, to take a Juventus shirt and put it also there with me, together, forever. Anyway, beautiful things, I'm super happy, but yeah, now that the excitement of him coming to Juve is kind of over, we need, of course, the officialization, and probably will be officially presented on the 10th of July when we start the medical test, when Juventus start officially the new season. Well, in the meanwhile, let's see what he can do, because Corriere dello Sport is already putting some pressure, like Gazzetta. Corriere is saying, Giuntoli, Juve ci penso io. Juve, I will take care of it. Taking care of the difficult situation, Vlahovic, Federico Chiesa, that at the moment are in standby, with the ideas that we will come back on Hojlund and Hojlund. On the other side, we have Gazzetta, they saying Formula Scudetto. It's not the first time that they are taking away the pressure from other teams that are objectively, at the moment, on paper, more structured and more ready to win the Scudetto, like Napoli, title winner, but also Inter, with a solid team that arrived in the final of Champions League. Well, they are switching that pressure, putting him already on the shoulders of Giuntoli. Formula Scudetto, the formula to win the Scudetto, with Maestro, the teacher, Giuntoli. What are they speaking about? Well, after Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia and Kim Min-jae at Napoli, now he has a new mission, the mission Juventus. Again, all the pressure. But I tell you, before doing Mercato, the first mission of Giuntoli will be to speak with the technical staff, with coach Max Allegri, with the sporting director Giovanni Manna. I heard some rumors that yesterday already, after the officialization of him being free from Napoli, he put a call to Giovanni Manna telling him he's doing good work. You know it? To be free from Napoli, Giuntoli had to say, no, I don't take any collaborator from me from Napoli, I go to Juve alone. So that means that he will have to work with the people that are already at Juventus, Tognozzi, Manna, Cherubini that is still there, but also with the coach that has been confirmed to be Max Allegri 23-24. For the people that are expecting Giuntoli to arrive and take the decision to change immediately the coach, guys, don't hope too much. Then tomorrow everything can happen, but this is not the first mission. The first mission of Giuntoli will be to find a great understanding. Both of them, also Max Allegri, they have that black and white fire in them because they were Juventini since kids. So that's one of the threads that, or one of the things that can bring them together. But they will have to think with a common objective, bringing back Juventus to win. The passion, the ideas of Giuntoli, that excitement for being for the first time at Juve will be important. On the other side, you have a Max Allegri that comes from 2 total disaster years in terms of results and performances of the field, that has a big, immense, as never, sense of revenge, because he wants to bring also Juve to the top. Well, these two will have to speak to each other, find the common points to bring the Bianconeri back to victory. And that will happen in the next few days. Not only with Manna, with Allegri and so on, but also probably with Magnanelli Francesco, that after 18 years of player and being in the technical staff of Sassuolo, will join the team of Max Allegri. Now also there, it is official, he leaves, and in the next coming days, I am sure that we will see him in a Bianconero. Now that we have passed the 10 minutes, what can we speak about? Of course, the mercato. Ora si fa la Juve. Now Juventus will have to be made. Gazzetta dello Sport is always tending towards the negative, to highlighting the negative things. And of course, they are speaking about Giuntoli, that his first mission will be to sell players, big players, or at least taking some decisions about players like McKennie, Arthur, Zakaria, that will be about to sign with West Ham. Not the important names, but especially the first 2 names that they are putting there on their page are Dusan Vlahovic and Federico Chiesa. He arrived on time. I'm happy that he arrived now, that he will be co-responsible to take decisions on Chiesa, on Vlahovic, on Bremer, on the people that will need to leave to bring in new players. One of the players that we were all talking about that could possibly leave Juventus to bring cash money in is Dusan Vlahovic. Especially if Mbappé would leave Paris Saint-Germain, there could be a possible slot open for Vlahovic to Paris Saint-Germain. There is Real Madrid that is interested in the player, a bit lower the request from the Premier League to Dusan Vlahovic or from Bayern Munich, but there could be possibly Vlahovic leaving Juventus. In that case, Giuntoli has already some names in mind, because he was already working towards alternative in case of Osimhen leaving Napoli. 2 of the names are Hojlund, that we all know, that we all really know from Atalanta, that young promise with a lot of potential, or the other one that did really great this season at Udinese, and we are speaking about Beto. 2 players, Beto and Hojlund, that could be one of the players that can replace Dusan Vlahovic. Let me know if one of them is triggering you. I'm really curious to read your comments. On the other side, there is always Hölm. Hölm, that is a player that is in that book of Giuntoli that he was already observing. So pay attention to Hölm, because at the moment on the right side we don't have Castagne, we don't have these crazy name that arrived yesterday of Mazraoui, or the other ones of Cagliari, Nanes, I don't even know the name. Anyway, pay attention also to Parisi, that yesterday there were some talks of him going closer and closer to Lazio, but nothing is done deal yet, so they could come back with a Parisi, but it will all depend, of course, about who you are able to keep and to sign. You will also have to take a decision on Cambiaso, that Thiago Motta really wants to reconfirm. Allegri already took a decision. He will go together with the team to USA to do the tour and will be evaluated. Then in terms of Mercato, who we will bring in on the left, on the right, well, Cambiaso could potentially or stay or go back one more year to Bologna. Not only a lot of changes in terms of names on the Mercato, but yesterday was also the day, or actually this morning really early at midnight, when we were officially the 1st of July, Juventus on their official store, they made a communication. You had to find it, and I was really fast to find it. 2 change of numbers. The first one, Gatti, that is leaving the number 15 to take the number 4 on the back of his shirt. 4 gatti per quelli italiani sul canale, sapete che fa ridere, so I just said a joke in Italian, but Gatti is going for number 4. That was the X number of Matthijs de Ligt. Let me know if you really like that number. I think that Gatti is saying I'm here to stay, and not to stay on the bench, but being a starter of Juventus 23-24. But there is also another one that couldn't wait to change number from the moment that it was official that Juan Cuadrado was leaving Juventus. Kostic left that number 17 away to take that number 11. Let me know if he deserves to take that number 11 after the season that he did last year, yes or no. You know that for me, 11 is my favorite number. It's not the number that I saw immediately on Kostic. On the other hand, if that's his favorite number, why not? But him taking the number 11 means that he's also leaving the number 17. Who is wearing the number 17 and it is linked to Juve since a kit that one day will arrive to Juve and that you like it or you not like it? It's Zaniolo from Galatasaray with the number 17. I'm not saying anything, but just. Cristiano Giuntoli will not take care of the number. He doesn't care about the numbers of the player, but what he will take care of is, of course, the other names of the Mercato. And Tuttosport, but also other pages, are continuing to insist on a name. The name of Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. And today you can clearly see that Tuttosport is pushing towards Milinkovic, Rabiot, and Pogba. The renewal of Rabiot, and we already said it, is not banning or excluding any arrival from a new midfielder. Milinkovic-Savic is still a priority, and he can potentially play in that 3-5-2 or that 4-3-1-2 that we are talking about since a few days. Well, ragazzi, in a 3-5-2, he would play there on the right side with Rabiot and Pogba, or eventually Locatelli. On the other side, if we are playing in that 4-3-1-2, well, Locatelli, Rabiot, and Milinkovic with Pogba a bit more higher. These are the lineups given by Tuttosport. Let's see if they will happen or not. And he will also have to take care of something else, because today Juventus was tweeting a Brazilian flag with some beautiful hugs between the number 6 Danilo and the number 3 Bremer. But where is the number 12? The other Brazilian one, Alexandre. That is still a thing of discussion inside of Juve. Him and also Bonucci are two players that are not part of the project being started at Juve. If they can find another team, well, Juventus will absolutely not close the door, and this time it will be Giuntoli to take care of it. Ragazzi, let me know how much you are excited about Giuntoli, about Weah possibly announced today, about the goodbye. How much are you sad about the goodbye of Juan Cuadrado? Was it a good news or not? Let me know all of these kind of things. I'm curious to read them, and for the rest, I'm wishing you to enjoy a fantastic Saturday. Grazie, forza, Juve.